Welcome back inside the Now Morning Show. I mentioned to you guys earlier on that we'll be chatting with some representatives from the Copyright Organization of Trinidad and Tobago about music licensing. I want to welcome to the show, well, welcome back, because he's always here, Mr. John Arnold, who's the director, one of the directors at COT, as well as Curtis Jordan, who's the president of COT. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Morning, Ruckus, and to your worldwide viewers.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Well, Mr. Arnold, how was the carnival?
Carnival? Well, you know, I could talk that from several perspectives. But overall, I mean, I enjoyed everything I went to in Trinidad. Tobago, when I was more on the administrative side, and there were pluses and minuses, and areas, you know, where I think we were able to see the first carnival since the Tobago October Carnival. So I think we're in a better place now to do some evaluations, and that's going to happen within another 7 days or so, when a complete post-mortem will be taking place. Yeah.
So we'll have a proper statistics and data by then. Hopefully, we'll chat some more about that then. Mr. Jordan,
for certain.
let me first of all say congratulations on the new post as president of COT. In this role, how has the transition been for you?
Well, to me, it would have been a little more easier than I thought, and I think it would have been easy because of the support that I have gotten from persons like on the board, the persons with experience, like Mr. Arnold. They've been there and they have a wealth of experience. So the transition would not have been as difficult as I thought it would have been. So I'm good. The support is real, and we have work to do. So nice. We just pushing.
Let me talk about the work. Let me talk about the work one time. For people who may not know, can you break down for me what music licensing is all about? Let's start with you, Mr. Jordan.
Sure. Music licensing is pretty much, or at least what COT does when it comes to that understanding of music licensing, is collect fees on the behalf of producers, writers, artists, and distribute it to them. So we give people the authority to use music. So that is what licensing is, to give companies, stores, restaurants the authority to actually use music via a license. The fees that is collected from those licenses then go out to the persons that own the music creators. Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Arnold, do you have an idea as to how we get from point A to point B? How do we get from the license that I've paid for to the money getting into the account of the songwriters, the producers, the singers, everybody who's involved in the process?
Well, I think I want to segue from President Jordan, because I think it's important to understand, you know, music is ubiquitous, so everybody thinks we don't need to pay for music. But the creators are as important as plumbers, engineers, carpenters, everybody. They do work. So I think for COT, there are 4 categories of membership, and this is very important. 1 is the performer, right? 2, the producer. 3, the publisher, and of course, the lyricist composer. So those are the 4 categories you can be a member. And why it's important is that we collect 2 sets of fees. The first one is copyright, as in music composer, lyricist, and the second one is related rights, more popularly known as neighboring rights, right, which are monies that go now to the producers and the performers. So it's very important for people to understand when monies are collected, it's a not-for-profit organization. None of the money is kept by the organization, right, except for administrative fees. All the rest of the money is distributed to members. And because of the neighboring rights now, we have a larger pool of people who now gain royalties, including producers and performers. That's as simple as I could break that down. Right. And it's very important for people to understand that.
All right. So I need to understand, because I oftentimes struggle with this, right? So only forgive me if I need to get clarity on this, right? Mr. Jordan, tell me, when all right, I'm a DJ. I pay for my COT license, right? How do I know, or how do you know, rather, what music I have been playing to know who to give the money to accordingly?
Well, there are several ways. Number one, there are certain venues that CUT provides a device that actually captures the music, and that goes directly into our systems. Other than that, their DJs are supposed to export their playlists to CUT. So there are a few ways that data is collected, and so we're able to compile stuff to give to the members itself. So there are a few different ways.
I like how you say DJs are supposed to export their playlists. Has that been
We're working
has
on
that
it.
been
We're working,
actively
we're working on
happening?
it. We're working on it. We're getting better at it. I wouldn't deny,
Well,
but
yeah,
we're getting there.
just to add, Rockers, I
Yeah.
think you need to understand that a lot of the license are what we call blanket license. And by blanket license, they cover a wide array of music. So it's not going to cover, let us say, 111 every single tune.
Right.
What we encourage performers to do is when they perform somewhere to write out their playlist and submit that. So it gives us a closer look at how the money that was collected for copyright for that event can be distributed. But beyond that, it's a blanket license that covers, and basically what the DJs will have is a blanket license also that covers a lot of the creative things you all do in the mixes you all make, right? And that's where your license really covers you because you create mixes on your own that becomes yours to a certain extent, but it's people's music.
Okay, I hear you. I hear you. I'm wondering about the need for innovation. Is there a process ongoing right now in court where there's more innovation when it comes to how we collect data, when it comes to how we also disseminate information from the copyright organization?
No doubt, no doubt. And the country as a whole is on a drive for digital transformation, and CUT is nowhere behind with that. We are pushing that forward. All our processes currently are being redone. Everything from the way how it is collected, how our data is generated, even how our members access the information is very, very much being digitized. As a matter of fact, within the next couple of weeks or maybe about 2 months max, we are going to have the relaunch of our website. And we are extremely excited about that because it's going to be something that is going to be like a digital home for persons to be able to have direct access to their information, that they don't need to always come down to the office. And if they want the information, they have it at the fingertips. Not just for the members, but even for you music users. So we are extremely excited about transforming the organization. It is taking time, but we are on it. We are on it. So
We have a
much
timeline
to
for
look
when
forward to. Much to
we,
look forward to.
we have a timeline for when we can expect that website launch.
Definitely. Within the next 8 weeks, so around 2 months, because we've been working on it. A matter of fact, it is such a massive overhaul. It has taken almost a year so far for us to be able to do that. So we are excited for that launch. You could definitely look out for that. And all the music users, artists, producers could be excited, man. We're looking forward.
All right, Mr. Arnold, you mentioned the blanket license before. Is that the same way that it works for television and for radio as well?
Yes, actually, what we have, the tariffs are basically blanket license. In the case of events, that is worked out by percentage times ticket price times the amount of persons expected. But generally for hotels, any commercial place that uses music, there are rates for music in elevators, music on telephone, music anywhere, music in a bar, music in a restaurant, waiting, the large restaurant area, waiting rooms, dentist offices. Yeah, we have rates for everything. And those are by the benchmark with international rates that we also do.
Right. I'm
So
happy that you brought up.
collectively,
I'm happy that you brought up the rates because I just wanted to find out about the differences because I know that there's a different rate that happens around Carnival time versus the rest of the year. Is there a particular reason that we have different rates at Carnival?
yeah, because that's the one time the creators do get a larger portion of money. So I think one of the things you will admit is if you think about it, um, remember we are representing music worldwide. So that a lot of money is collected because of the reciprocal arrangements with several other copyright organizations globally. We also send out monies. And one of the things that's really good, and you would have heard all kinds of discussion in the past about local content, increasing it so that more local composers get more radio airplay, because a lot of money, when collected as royalties, are really sent out for foreign repertoire that's used on our national media.
Mm-hmm.
So it is one of those periods when a lot of local music is played, and as such, a little bit of, I would call it, event advantage for the local composers that takes place at that time during that specific period.
I love how you put that, event advantage. Well said, sir. All right, gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining us. I think this conversation can go on for a lot longer, but unfortunately, we're out of time. Before we go though, Mr. Jordan, I'm curious as to, is there any plans or are there any plans in place to have any sort of collaboration between CUT and TUCO? Because I think this road march situation that we've been seeing here, people have been asking lots of questions, and I know you have things like ISRC codes that have been implemented. So why do we still not have that collaboration happening between CUT and TUCO?
I think everything is a process, and it takes a time. It takes time, and any amount of collaboration among the organizations that support the development of music and development of artists is going to be something good. So that is something I'm sure is in the works, not just with TUCO, it's with so many other organizations. We could go on and on, but collaboration is happening. It just takes time. Yeah.
I see Mr. Arnold has been teaching you how to answer these questions well. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, and do enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.
All right, blessings.
That's the president of CUT, Mr. Curtis Jordan, as well as the director at CUT, Mr. John Arnold, just joining us to chat a little bit about music licensing. A lot more to get into in that conversation, but unfortunately, we're out of time. We have more coming up on the show, so stay tuned.